Hello, and welcome to Overseas Leafs Report. Welcome back for episode 4 as we look back on a bit of a short week for the Maple Leafs. Just 2 games. Happy to have you here again. Calculations and statistics are right. There's a few of you that have come back and shown some loyalty, so thank you very much for that. And welcome to new viewers. The Maple Leafs played at home versus the Pittsburgh Penguins first, and then the St. Louis Blues. We've also got an exciting interview, hotly anticipated. Let's start off with that. We're joined by Usman, who is in Pakistan. So tell us, how did you get involved with watching the Leafs and Toronto sports in general?
It's a long story. It all started with me watching NFL and some rugby. In the off season, I just got into baseball, and once I got into baseball, I had to be a fan of Toronto because I have family in Mississauga. I have 2 uncles. My mom's parents also live in Mississauga, so that's the reason I became a fan of Toronto sports teams. So getting into baseball, I made some friends, got into some podcasts and radio shows. My just friends led me into hockey as well. I mean, it's not a complete. I wouldn't be a complete Toronto sports fan without the Maple Leafs. So I just became a fan of the Maple Leafs as well.
What would your dream trip to Toronto be like? Have you been to Toronto before?
No, I have not been to Toronto before. Of course, my dream trip would be to come to Toronto and watch my favorite teams, the Blue Jays, the Raptors, the Toronto Maple Leafs, of course. I'm currently working really hard on my education right now, so just one day I can make it to Toronto. Of course, it's a big goal of my life.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You say you're a student, you're a university student?
Yes, I am. I'm currently doing chartered accountancy. I'm an accounting student and also doing bachelor's in commerce. So 7 days a week studying right now.
Whenever it's a Leaf game day, what's your routine? What do you usually do?
Basically, the most of the games start at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and Pakistan is 9 hours ahead of Eastern time, so those games start at 4 a.m. for me. So I try and watch every game. So I just wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, watch the game on my phone, through internet, and in bed. I don't watch on TV, I just watch on my phone in bed. If I tell some of my friends I wake up at 4 a.m. to watch ice hockey and baseball, they go like, "Are you crazy?" I mean, it's understandable because all of these things are really not watched in Pakistan.
So tell me about the ice hockey situation in Pakistan.
So basically, there is no situation of ice hockey in Pakistan. I mean, it's just not played here. Okay. Nothing.
Do you have ice rinks?
Yes, there's one rink I know about here in my city, Karachi, but it's just for general ice skating, not for hockey.
This week, a commercial came out. It's a Tim Hortons commercial that had players from Kenya travel to Canada and get an experience playing against a local team and then meeting Sidney Crosby and Nate McKinnon. What did you think of the commercial?
It's great. It's an awesome experience for sure for the Kenyan team, and I can totally understand that. In Pakistan, there's situation like that as well. There are not enough people playing sports and not having proper facilities. Just take the Pakistan baseball team for instance. I mean, we have a good team, but we don't even have a single ballpark here in Pakistan, a proper ballpark. But yet still, we are ranked in the top 25 right now. So if we could just get the proper facilities, proper funding, we could match up with teams in Asia like Japan and Korea. So I can totally understand not having the proper facilities. And if Pakistan, in any sport, if they could get some opportunity, I'm sure they would do great as well.
Cool. Are there some people in Toronto or in of Leafs Nation you want to say hi to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have so many friends, but to name out specifically, Krista King, she's been a great friend. She even wrote a blog on my story of me becoming a fan of Toronto sports. And Barry Davis, he sent me a baseball glove and a hat to Pakistan. Matt McFarland. I mean, I could just go on and on, but
thank you so much for sharing your story a little bit.
Thanks, so
Have
bye.
a good day. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Bye. So the game versus Pittsburgh, the first thing that was exciting was to see Freddie back in nets. So it was nice to see that his injury wasn't too serious, or that he made a quick enough recovery. Felt good for the game versus Pittsburgh. But he probably wishes he had another chance on that power play goal by Pittsburgh. Very moment late in the first where Zach Hyman takes a high stick, some of the worst cringeworthy moments when you see the blade get under the visor and scoop the eye. There's blood everywhere, but no penalty. Nobody saw that? The linesmen, refs all got together, but no one saw anything. Babcock is predictably giving the refs an earful on that one. It's really unfortunate that 4 guys in the zebra jerseys didn't see what happened there. Luckily, Hyman's back in the second, and they kind of zoom in on his eye. You can see the stitches are like right underneath there, and he's got like this massive visor that's covering half of his face. It's got to be tricky to make an adjustment mid-game like that, but it's probably wise to protect his face after that close call. Only 1 goal for most of the game, but it's not that bad of a game. It's entertaining. They're exchanging chances. Not a huge amount to say about this, except that both goaltenders are playing well, especially Murray making some key saves coming back from injury as well. Little bit of controversy as to whether Toronto scored late. You can see the puck is in the net, but under Murray's pads, but the whistle had gone. Surprised by how quick the review was. That's it, no goal. 2 goals for Pittsburgh on the empty net to conclude. 3-0, giving Murray the shutout, but Toronto just couldn't break through. Next game was versus the Blues. Happened to be on a Sunday morning here. It's perfect for me. I can go for a quick run, get some coffee, and watch the game. First thing I notice is there's no anthem singer. Where's Martina? I don't want an organ player in a goofy Leafs jacket for Hockey Night in Canada. I want Martina. Post game, I was able to answer my own question. And I hope she makes a full recovery and that we'll see her singing the anthem again soon. This was Tyler Bozak's first game back since signing his contract with St. Louis in the offseason. A lot of people saying they're like a tweener team, not sure if they're going to make the playoffs or not. I actually think they've got a pretty good roster. No, they had a bit of a late season collapse last year to miss out on the final playoff spot, which went to Colorado. I think their lineup, forward and D, is really strong, especially with those off-season acquisitions. You'll notice Hyman is still wearing the larger visor since last game. Be interesting to see if it's a permanent switch for him. Lots of play in the St. Louis zone in the first, and a little bit surprisingly, it's the secondary lines that are getting the chances. Levo, Kadri, Gauthier, but no scoring. St. Louis chances, meanwhile, are coming off Toronto defense screw-ups, these tiny plays that just end up with the puck getting to the opposition instead. That Hainsey penalty kind of showed his age, and it's kind of given me the impression that he's lost another step. He's progressively going to be a step behind each time. Luckily, that power play by St. Louis pretty much led to nothing. It's not a lot of goals or exciting things to talk about so far, so it's kind of affecting my content here. That first St. Louis goal kind of came out of nowhere after deflecting a bunch of chances before hitting the net. Then it's 2-0 without much momentum going anywhere. And 3-0 after Riley sends a pizza up the middle out of frustration. Did the Leafs get any chances on Allen in the second? That late shot by Kapanen off the crossbar won't even register as a shot on net. So Riley gets back on the score sheet after some good play by the GTA line plus Riley and Gardner on D, which means Hainsey's playing with someone else now. Power play with 7 minutes to go, but ultimately it was too little too late for the Leafs, which brings them to back-to-back losses. No need to overreact, but 2 losses at home where you've only managed 1 goal is a little bit concerning. And then we had a couple of days without games, which gives people a bunch of time to bring up many different topics. We've had concern about Marlowe's play, we've had concern about Dermott's play, there's been conversation about the fact that Kadri has no goals, people bringing up Matthews' ice time, so there's been a lot to talk about. With that in mind, I'm really looking forward to the back-to-back games with Winnipeg, one on the road and then back at Scotiabank Arena. I think it'll be a good test for the Leafs, and I'm really looking forward to see if they can bounce back. If you like what you're seeing, hit like, share the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for any updates during the week on Twitter.